Well, listen, I'm here to listen to you guys. I have questions here. What is the best way to get started? What are the best areas to target? Should I buy or arbitrage first? If those questions have changed, you're welcome to ask new ones, but I'm here. We are on the clock because I got somebody right after. So what's up, guys?
Yeah.
How can I help?
All right. So the first, just questions 2 and 3, definitely let's keep those. The
Mhm.
first one, I think what I would want to ask is changing that one about instead of the best way to get started would be, do you think the market is still ripe for the opportunity with MTR specifically, not short
Yeah.
term, but MTRs? My wife and I, like we just talked about it an hour ago, we are so over corporate America that we would love to be working for ourselves, honestly, within a year. Like we want to really be aggressive with this. So the
Yeah.
question is that viable? Is it too saturated? Can we do that?
Okay, got it. Great question. So to answer your question, is it, I will say that considering that you're Atlanta, you're talking about Atlanta market, specifically Georgia
We're
or
willing to
anywhere.
go outside of
Okay, cool.
Atlanta.
Great. So I'm glad you clarified that. Yes, 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 and yes. The first thing I would think though, when you guys are looking to get into the midterm rental insurance space, do me a favor, always analyze each deal like an STR deal. Why? Because I want you guys to have an exit strategy, right? So steer away from HOAs. Give yourself an option. Why do I say that? Is because these deals are very prevalent, right? The demand is very prevalent. However, I want to make sure that I have an exit strategy. See, what happens if I don't have a contract? Am I going to sit empty? No. I want to make sure I'm in an area that can still accommodate, right? Whether it's guests coming in out of town because it's a metro city or folks coming in to relocate with their families. I want all of the above. The most important thing that I do focus on, that I would want you guys to focus on, is the asset type. There is a dominant asset type that doesn't have as much supply in the marketplace, and that's the 4 to 5 bedroom home with a fenced in backyard. Call it a master on main. We love that in case someone has some physical disabilities, right? They could still access the home without having to access the downstairs, upstairs, right? So it could be on one floor. You can have a basement, you can have a second floor, but just make sure that could a person live there without needing to access the upstairs, meaning the master on main, washer and dryer on the same floor. Those are the type of asset that I focus on first, because when I look at all the families that we've hosted over time and time again, it's this very similar avatar. They're larger and they also have pets. And one of the things with pets is, do they have a place where they can run around? Do they have a fence and backyard? Is it, I stay away from carpet, right? Do you have a garage? That's a plus. All those things are pluses. It's not that one is, you can't get a deal with 3 bedroom. We literally currently have a 6 month stay in one of our 3 bedrooms. However, I like having larger because I can host a family size of 3 into a 4 or 5 bedroom home, and I'm optimizing for all of the above. So always analyze with the STR and always think about the type of asset that you're either going to buy, manage, or arbitrage or co-host.
Okay. But you think it's still like
Oh, I
when
mean,
you
we're literally 90% booked with insurance. Now we have these two right now properties that are transition 7 to 8 months, 7 to 8 months. We had an MTR and we're currently still working on getting another contract. And in the interim, guess what we're doing? Booking for Airbnb.
Airbnb. Okay.
So
And then all right, next
absolutely.
two questions are good. What was I don't even remember. What was my second question? What was
Second
it?
question I have here is, what are the best areas to target?
Yes.
Okay, so best areas to target, I will go back to the fundamentals of selecting a short-term rental market, right? So do you guys own any or co-host any in Airbnb or anything like that?
We have
Oh,
long term.
okay, cool. So you're gonna look at it a little bit different than long term, right? Because there's two types of market. Either there's short-term rentals or there's vacation rentals. Now, vacation rental is different than a short-term rental. Vacation is where people go for vacations. There's a highs and low seasons with respect to either it's snowbirds if you're in Arizona that are coming towards you, or maybe it's people going out to the Cape or whatever the case might be. The reason I like short term, with if I'm going to have a portfolio where I want to do the MTR play, is because I want to be able to capitalize on traffic coming in. I want to be close 20 minutes, not more than 20 minutes outside of the metro, like the city, right? Because that way I can capitalize on, yeah, some people might be in the suburbs and be a little bit away from the city, but they want access to downtown. So we might be getting people from conferences coming for games. I know during baseball season, we get tons of people around the Smyrna area that come in. That's just here. There's many markets like that where I'm still gonna, the fundamentals of real estate do not go away. Location, location, location. But you got to keep in mind what's the foot traffic of that location. And there's obviously good data like airdna.co. There's I like that's one of the main ones I use. I know there's Mashvisor. I don't use that one as much, but as much data as you have to give you guys the peace of mind that we're making the right investment and that this can run as a short-term rental. What are the licenses and laws around that state? I like that in case I don't have an MTR contract. When we optimize, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And all you need is 1 or 2 contracts to land a large opportunity. But if not, Lena, what is your, exit strategy, right? It's good for you guys to have that in mind, was risk tolerance. So that was your
And
second question.
yeah, exit strategy, just to make sure you're saying like we can rent it out to make it a long-term rental if we need to, or Airbnb it if we need to.
Yeah, just keep in mind, there's some numbers that don't work when you're running as a long-term rental. So the way we look at it is short-term rental. Well, one, we do short-term rental analysis. We know we can get MTR numbers based on the value of the home, based on working with the insurance company. Am I close to a hospital? Like I'm trying to factor in all these possibilities. And then now this might not work for every market. Does it work long-term? A lot of homes, a lot of numbers don't work with these high interest rates with long-term. But that's why, if you can do 3 exit strategies, great. If you can do 2, phenomenal. If you do 1, I think you're asking for trouble because you can't guarantee anything.
Gotcha. Midterm being 1, short term being 2.
LTR would be your third, but if you find that market where all 3 work, give me a holler, okay?
I know, right? Especially, yeah, to your point, interest rates.
Yeah.
And then the last question, just around the arbitrage, right? Like,
Yeah.
is that viable? Like, is that the best
Yeah.
way to start? We don't have experience trying to
Yeah.
learn it.
So I would say this, and this is not an answer that people love. It depends on your situation, right? Like my whole thing is the reason we got into the MTRs in the first place is because we had peers. My wife and I are in business together as well. So good for you guys. And my wife was able to I guess not work anymore. But what we did is we didn't do like we weren't buying $600,000 homes like everybody else. We were buying like our first home was 275, then 300, then 330, 350. That was our sweet spot. And then we had a furnishing budget of like 20K. So it's all with respect to where you're at. I feel like, oh, Ruben, we got a nice runway. Keep in mind, design matters still. Not for the MTR. You don't need to go crazy, but remember, keep in mind if you want to capitalize for both exit strategies, you're going to want to finish better than the average furnished finder home, right? So when you factor that in and you look at your numbers, like, okay, what's the down payment? Are you using a 10% down for a vacation home loan? Or can we put down, right? Like, what is the hack that we're using? If it's 20%, I would say recommend doing 10% down because a vacation home, all you need to do is live in there for the next 7 to 14 days, speak with your lender about it, and then you're completely allowed to Airbnb it, right? And do the MTR. So keep that in mind. It's like, where are you at? How many reserves do you have, right? What is the alternative? Maybe let's say 30K is what you have. Well, can you arbitrage? Or I like co-hosting as well, because co-hosting, you the only thing is that you have to build some track record. You have to kind of get someone in to say, hey, I want to take a shot on you, like a homeowner who already currently has a home furnished to take a shot on you. But I like that one too, because it has no risk. You're just managing, you're like a consultant, right? I do think it works. We don't arbitrage. We started out by buying our own. We did one at a time, then got another, and started to. We do like buy hack, meaning we will. You're completely. It's a lot of people don't use this, right? Where owner occupied, use it as an owner occupied for a year, and then move into another one and turn the other one into an investment. Like that's a big hack where people are just living at one place, or even renting on one place for more than a year and not doing anything with that literally owner, like FHA 3.5% down, 5%
Yeah.
down. Like you guys know this, right? You said you own some long-term rentals. So use that as a, it all depends. Like currently right now, do you guys have properties which you could convert, or is it like where are we at? Because you said you have long terms. Like so
Yeah.
what would
We're
that look like?
Market. Yeah, they're in Alabama, so
Mhm.
close to Columbus, Georgia.
Phoenix
How many
City
properties?
2.
Okay,
And
put
they're
those
small. They're 2 2s.
2 2s. Okay, still put those in AOE solutions. Like you can get those on there. I mean, do you currently have tenants on there?
We do.
For how
Mhm.
long?
one, I mean, both seem rather long term. I doubt they want to leave, so we'll
Okay,
see.
cool. So don't,
Yeah.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But is there equity in those homes?
Hmm.
Potentially tap into that. Like there's so many different ways, guys. Like it all depends your temperature and your financial situation, your risk tolerance. That all matters. Like I'm not financially in a position to tell you what to do, but all those work if you put in the work. I do like the ownership, and I think you guys like that too. If you can, great, but start where you're at. If you can't own right now, you can experiment this in a way that makes sense for you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So just follow up. So we're interested in potentially taking your course. So either so you have the other course with Dr. Is it Gemma? What's the lady,
Rachel?
the Rachel?
Yeah.
So I mean, we're down to do either or. So which ones we saw one just you, and then one was her. We're just trying to figure out what's the difference between the two. Like,
Yeah, sure. If you go with Rachel, she's gonna give you a lot of different resources, including myself. I end up doing one Q&A call for that specific product. I'm not sure because Rachel has a lot of different products, but she's amazing. So
right,
either way, I like to go with the person you resonate with. With me, you're gonna get proximity because I have a tight knit group. So basically we have a call every at 7 p.m. So after this, I got on a call and you got questions, it's done with you, right? So really you get templates, contracts, you name it, right? So I can only tell you what I'm doing. I can definitely tell you Rachel is an amazing woman. She's a partner of mine, and we're just here to educate. So whether you do go with her and you like her style, or you go with me because you like my style, that's what I would say. Because if you do the work, guys, it works. But it's like who do you resonate with? Who's gonna get you? Who do you want to be held accountable by? I think at the end, that's what it is. It's just different teaching styles, but she's amazing, and I would say a lot of our students have gotten some great results as well. So I'm very proud of that as well.
awesome.
Yeah,
Ruben, thank you so much, man. We know you got another call. We appreciate it greatly, and we will be in
guys.
contact.
Absolutely. Sending tons of abundance your way. I have your emails. I'll send you guys my email, or my assistant will, if you guys have any questions, and I can help you guys. But thanks for coming on. I always appreciate it. It always resonates well when you guys can connect with the content. Then here we are in person. So
I
it's
know,
amazing.
absolutely.
Really
Sounds great.
Listen,
Thank you, sir.
good.
Take
all right.
care.
Absolutely.
Take
Have
care.
a good night, guys. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.